All right, welcome everybody to the second of our series of two hackathon informational sessions. I'm Amy Wong, and I'm Associate Professor with the Informatics Institute. I have Matt Wyatt, Director of Clinical Research Informatics here, and Zandos Sembe, sorry, not right, who's an informatics architect. I don't know if you can turn on your video. I can get a quick show of hands as to some questions about the people who are attending this meeting. Great, thanks. Or you can put it in the chat too. So so how many of you attended the other session, and how many of you, this is the first session that you're attending? Yeah, I was at the first session too. That you were at the first session? No, okay, yes. How many first session?
I attended the previous sessions all.
What?
I attended all the previous sessions.
Yeah, there are certainly some names that are familiar.
Okay. All right, let's just go ahead and get started then. So some of it may be repeat, but I want to have it for the benefit of people who are new. And also Dr. Jake Chen has just joined us too. He's one of the co-chairs of the hackathon. So any remarks from you, Jake? I was going to just jump right into the presentation.
No, go ahead. Thank you, Amy.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, so welcome to the hackathon. We want to focus on fighting cancer, and we're happy to have really great sponsors for this event. So I'm going to start with some opening remarks. Actually, I'll handle that. I'll give an overview. Jaylai Wong, actually Zandos will be talking in his place. We'll talk about technical readiness. Matt Wyatt will discuss use of the UAB electronic health record as a data source, and then we want to allow plenty of time for questions. So why have a hackathon, a hacking marathon, intensive collaboration on software development? And this is, it's a means to advance knowledge, and it's important to bring people together of different disciplines, and important also in health and biomedical research. This has been described in the literature. This is actually our third hackathon, and the picture you see there was our first hackathon. It was a very initial effort, and it was a wild success. So we continued that. So we're one of the purposes of the hackathon is to highlight U-BRITE, which is a biocomputing infrastructure that we have for high power computing for data intensive translational science, a data commons for bringing everything together so people can get access to it. So we have all these disparate silos and groups working in different areas across the translational spectrum, and often it's kind of disconnected, or it's very much in series, and people don't necessarily have access to everything. But if you have something that's connecting all these pieces, all these different types of data, and then anybody can have access to that, and because different areas will be relevant to different research projects. So our pilot study, a pilot hackathon, we had 4 teams and 4 investigators, and it was extremely successful. And you know, it was actually in person, so that was a major difference. And this work was published about how we can try to promote team science across the translational spectrum. But one thing that came out of this was the hackathon was a significant factor in the project's success. Now we hadn't planned on having a hackathon. Initially, we were just doing, people were working on their own. And then hackathon was actually towards the end of this whole U-BRITE process, the pilot. And but people did think that it would have been really helpful to have it earlier in the development process, just to get everybody together. So last year we had another hackathon because we knew that COVID was a major threat, and we wanted to try to bring together all our resources to fight that, both on the biomedical, bioinformatics, and molecular, as well as clinical and population. So this was virtual because of COVID. So here's our group photo, but the hackathon showcases when everybody presented their work. People had a very good response to it. They thought it was really great, and that they would want to do it again. Most people had never done such a thing, and some of them had no experience. Many had experience with no experience with coding at all. So it was a really great opportunity to bring different teams together. And it was a lot of learning. So we've, so cancer, we know cancer is a major health threat, second leading cause of death worldwide. 9.6 million deaths per year, causes 1 in 6 deaths. And just in the US alone, $1.6 trillion estimated cost in 2010. So we thought, well, let's have a hackathon to bring together our resources to try to attack cancer. So we've organized the hackathon, and we're glad to see you here, that you've answered our call. So we have lots of activities. These are our timelines for how you should get ready up to it. It wasn't just the hackathon, it's really 2 months of preparation and an orientation to help you get ready for participants, mentors, and judges. So we need people to serve in all these roles. So the first step is to go to our website and you register, which I think you already did. Stage 2 and 3 are really important. You need to have we want to have people start thinking about their project ideas so that they can get ready, get any necessary data sets, have them available. And you need to have a project so people know what you're working on. So other team members can see that and then they can join. So we have an Airtable site in which you can submit your expertise profile. We also have a form for that where you can say what your areas of interest are, what your desired roles are. And also on the Airtable, there's a table of projects. So feel free to add to that your own project ideas and then data sets as well. We ask that all data sets be available in U-BRITE because we want your work to be in this commons area. But if you haven't published your data set yet, you don't need to make it public. You can have it in our area, but keep it private for so that you can use it. After you published it, please let us know so that we can make that, because we have a bunch of data sets and then we can make it open source and make it public. But we ask that you put it there. If it's not published, we won't share it with the world. And then we want you to form a team. You could work by yourself, but I think that when you have a team, you're able to accomplish more things. So in the Airtable, there's a teams table where you can, if you're a team leader, you can start a team, and then people can also add themselves to a team. So you can see who's on a team, and you can link a team with a project. And then we've had some networking events where people could meet and ask questions of experts, discuss project ideas, look for potential team members. Our last one was last week, and that was very well attended and very successful. We have one more towards the end, which is going to be combined with a technical readiness session. Then stage 4, learning, training, and preparation. We know lots of you may not have done this kind of thing before, and you want to be ready, and we're all about learning. Trainees are one of our target audience for this hackathon. So we have some events scheduled, some kind of boot camps and lectures about artificial intelligence and cancer, and also about U-BRITE. So then this is also a chance to check your technical readiness. Make sure that you can make sure you're signed up. You have, not just technical, but you have a team, you have a project, your data set is in place. You have all the necessary logons and access to our high performance computing environment so that you can be ready when the hackathon starts. And then stage 5 is the hackathon, which is 2 days, August 9th and 10th. And then that's Monday and Tuesday. Then Friday, there's a project showcase where people can present their work. So we'll give you 3 days after you finish the coding to showcase your work. And we will close our GitLab site where people submit their projects right at midnight the second day. So we don't want you to continue working on it, and we also want people to not take something that they had from before. That's not the point of this exercise. We want you to develop something new. So and then the showcase and then competition. So we have some generous contributions from donors so that we can offer some really nice cash prizes and also some additional awards. And then the next week we'll have a award ceremony where we'll present our awards and reflect on everything that we've done. So after you register, we'd like you to submit our expertise profile. There is a form for doing this, and also can do this in Airtable. all this information is in our, when you go to our website, it'll tell you how to sign up for our Slack channel, and then this information is there. But feel free to email us if you have questions. So you can add your yourself and then your role, whether you feel like you're more team member or team leader, what your position is, department, and other important information. So this is our Slack channel, so you can go there and discuss things with people, introduce yourself, and the hello, my name is. And then I added some additional channels for teams. So if you want, you can use that to discuss your team. So here's a list of events, which is on our website and also in Airtable, and it has all the upcoming events. So, so this is, and then next week we have an AI boot camp. And then the following week, on July 30th, Dr. Chen is giving a lecture on AI and cancer research and recent advances. And then a U-BRITE boot camp, so about the data commons environment. And this is our readiness and final project discussion, where you can have our technical folks on hand, make sure you're ready, and we have a checklist, make sure you have all the right things, kind of like an air flight checklist, and you know that you do your pre-flight check, everything's ready to go. And then we have Hackathon day 1 and 2, which is a Monday and Tuesday, showcase on Friday for you to present your work. And we have, and also throughout this process, there'll be mentors to help you. Either you can recruit, we invite you to recruit your mentors, or there will be mentors available scheduling office hours during the hackathon. You can go to their breakout room and ask questions, discuss your project. And then in the showcase, we have judges who will be evaluating the projects. And then at the end, we have the closing ceremony. Okay, so at this point, I just want to pause and see if there are any questions. You're welcome to enter them in the chat, or you can kind of raise your hand and feel free to unmute yourself. And Jake, Matt, or Zandos, if you have anything else to add, the next section will be for Zandos, actually.
Yeah, I think let me make a few comments on how to generate ideas or pick ideas. It seems that many of you are interested in getting into this hackathon as perhaps a practice, but I guess most of you don't have any ideas how to compete and win this competition. I just assume that some of you are interested in winning, right? If you're winning, I think that everything that Amy just said today is very critical. You may have just biology skills and not enough informatics skills. So it's very critical you proactively look in the expertise table, who has amazing informatics skills that can actually do programming. I know for sure that we have advertised in many data science communities. There are people from all over the geography, not necessarily from UAB, who have informatics skills. So don't be passive. Wait for a session like this, but instead just go write him an email. Or if you can't get the right person, maybe contact Amanda, contact Amy and say, I need this specific skills. How do I advertise? So we're planning to have everyone to show up on the Slack channel at the least. We are planning to have everyone enter their profile at the Airtable. So far, not only about half of the people have done that. So at some point, we may actually just enter all of their information into Slack. Okay, so feel free to reach out proactively. That's number one. And number two is once you have identified some people, don't just commit, right? So you want to have some sessions to see how that person work. Does it have similar personality, characters, work schedule? Do they push it, or do they actually tend to lay back? You want to find from a pool of candidates and people that click with you, right? That takes some time. Perhaps it's like a dating process, and perhaps you talk to 10 people and then you say what you want, and then you see what others are good at. And then from that 10 people, you select maybe 3 or 4 into your team. And that's the second advice that I have. And the third one is perhaps a more tricky. Where do you get the data set and ideas to really compete in this? But I can't speak to others, but I can actually show my desktop and just say one of the ideas I have for the people that I notice here. There's one person, at least Rahul Sharma, right? Rahul Sharma is going to join my lab as a as a future postdoc. And so I have an idea for him. I really asked him to join this as a practice. So I didn't even talk with Rahul, but I can just show it live and to say what ideas I have. And I hope that this will give people an idea how a mentor come up with some ideas, and you can actually do something similar, or you can just go find a mentor that can generate even better ideas. So for example, Rahul is interested in using AI and to do drug development with me. And so I was searching for papers, and I know one of the grand challenge of using AI for drug discovery is to find accurate protein structures. As many of you know, that the predominant way of getting the protein structure solved is through experimental method. You can use NMR, you can use X-ray crystallography. In the PDB database, there are several thousand structures of human proteins, but they're far from the 100,000 human proteins that's potentially in the human genome. And people are saying that there could be up to 5,000-6,000 target that are actually potentially useful for treating diseases. In cancer, if you are a biologist, you know that you can go to databases and potentially find the drug target. We do have some ideas on what proteins may be the drug target for different type of cancer, but one of the bottleneck is to find the protein structures. So there's just last week, and there's actually not last week, yesterday, there's a groundbreaking paper came out from David Baker's lab at the University of Washington. And this paper actually emulates what the AlphaFold 2 from Google's DeepMind had been doing, and was very amazing in the sense that it can predict the protein structures. It used a 3-track neural network different from the Google's approach. Google's approach made news last year because it essentially solved the protein folding problem with a 90% accuracy. But Google was using supercomputer to achieve that. In this paper, they talk about using just a regular gaming computer and use 3-track primary, secondary, tertiary sequence predicting together. And they made it open source. So one of the things I'm thinking is that Rahul, if you're doing a project and I want you to actually use this paper and get the open source package and just run this software for one of the cancer drug target that we actually studied in the past. Now, where do you get the drugs? And there's another paper that happened that in my group, we are doing some research and then do a journal club. It's called a Drug Space X. It came out of China. They have very large coverage of these database of what is called drugs that may have synthesis pathways. And I think that this is, if you put these two papers together, this is actually shining a very promising path for cancer AI guided drug discovery. If you have the knowledge on what cancer drug target is, essentially, Rahul, I want you to actually explore using this software to get the protein target, especially the protein target for, the protein folding, especially when the protein have mutations and mutated into a cancer specific protein, and then you can do the structural prediction. You can use a database like this to screen and come up with a potential good drug, right? So I think the key message here is you need to be somewhat sensitive to the literature. You need to have a faculty that knows some of the best. And this doesn't mean that it will work, but this would actually be amazing if you make it work. And perhaps in the world, there's even Dr. David Baker's work, lab doesn't even have the ideas how to put it together. They have tools, but they don't have the scientific ideas of targets or drugs. But I hope that that gave Rahul you some ideas and what I'm expecting you to do, and also give other people some ideas on what the level of competition might be. Rahul, you have any comments?
Not necessarily, because I'm working with the team, and I had some experience with some hackathons. What happens is this is an extremely different experience in this hackathon, because we have lots of time. So we are open to a problem. Like, there is no specific problem to solve. So we can choose our own problem. Only the domain has been given to us. So first of all, it's a shock, and it's out of the box thinking. And the second thing is, I come from a complete engineering and computer science background. So I'm trying to team up with somebody who can complement the other part. So thanks for the papers. I have already taken snapshots. Now I'll go through them and propose these papers to our teammates who are from this medical science background, who can understand the gist and the theme that we are trying to work with. Dr. Ransom is going to be he's going to be the mentor, and we are trying to work on a problem which is somewhat related to personalized medicine, and we are trying to frame our problem in that domain. Let's see this paper fits in that arena.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It's if you already have the idea, don't be obliged to use this. But essentially, I have these ideas, and then I can actually write it up. And anyone who's interested, just contact me, and I'm happy to be a mentor. All right, Amy, back to you.
Yeah, thanks for that. If we have time, then we can talk more about projects. So I'd like to shift gears now, and let me share screen again. Okay, now we're going to shift to technical readiness. So Zandos, you're up.
Yeah, hello everyone. So my name is Zandos. I will give you technical support during this hackathon. So our technical readiness includes, so can you please go there? So I will provide you access to our Chiha account. I will give you access to for our GitLab. And so if you are from outside to IB, I will support you via access to our Cheha, this high performance computing at IB. And actually all your code it will be hosted on our GitLab account, on your GitLab account. So if to create this account, you just need to use your Blazor ID, login and password. And also if you're from outside the IB, so you can use this ZS account, which I will provide you. And so for technical readiness, so it includes if you have this account, and also if you.
Sorry to interrupt. Do you need to share your screen, or you don't need to?
Once again, let me share. So can I share my screen right now?
Yeah, let me hang on. And you should be able to share now.
Yep. So yeah, that's technical readiness include that's preparation instruction for hackathon. So if you are from outside UIB, as I said, I will provide you ZS account to access our Cheha high performance computing at UIB. So if you just let me know and contact with me. And for Cheha account, we will give you the instruction how to request Cheha account. So, and I will help you. It's not necessary for all team members to have this account, and users from outside UIB will need to be sponsored by me. And for GitLab account, you just use your Blazor ID, login and password. And also I want to remind you that if you have any suggested datasets, you can just give you prepare your datasets. You can submit using this Airtable, and I will work on this, and we will host it on our Cheha. And I think that's it. And also we have scheduled the meeting for U-BRITE bootcamp that will be in 30 July. And I will give you all instruction how to access, how to work on Cheha, and how to use Jupyter notebook, and I will give you some quick demo. So I think that's it for me. Amy?
Yeah, thanks. And I'll take the share again. So you're highly encouraged to attend the boot camps, technical readiness sessions, so that you can see U-BRITE in action and ask questions. All right, next up, UAB as UAB electronic health record data as a source. So that will be Matt Wyatt. So have something to share, Matt, or not?
I think I can just speak to start with. Actually, here, I'll screen. Oh, I can't yet. So if for those who are interested in using a data set derived from the electronic health record, we have that available. I expect many folks are going to be interested in more molecular data analysis, omic data, potentially imaging data, etc. But if your wheelhouse is, or you want to explore electronic health record generated data, we will have 4 data sets, 2 case and 2 control. Each case data set will be a specific set of patients who have a newly diagnosed cancer, reportable cancer case from UAB's tumor registry in 2015. And we'll have the longitudinal record for that with effectively all the structured clinical data from clinical practice at UAB. And then a matched cohort by age, race, and gender of the same size, and an equivalent data set for all demographics, all encounters, and the vast majority of the clinical observations in clinical practice for the control data set. Based on some feedback from previous sessions, there were questions about the availability of an OMOP structured data set. So we will have an OMOP structured data set for each of those as well. Fair warning, and I said this to the folks who asked before, the OMOP data structure is not just a physical data structure, it is a content standard also. So the information that will be available in the OMOP data structure will be much more limited than that in the raw EHR data that we provide in our sort of raw structured CSV files, because that's what OMOP specifies. It specifies a physical structure, but it also specifies only inclusion of specific data. So the access to it will be as Zandos described, via Chiha, via our high performance computing resources, and getting access to particular directories there that will be available to all people participating who want to have access to that. I have a few things here that I can show you for demographic related information. So there's the dates will be truncated to not include days, so it'll be basically the year and month. Specifically, it'll be masked to the last day of the month, but there will be demographic records for all patients, encounter records for all patients that show what kind of encounters, encounter date, time stamps, physical locations, insurance information, age and encounter, some things like the medical service that is associated with the counter, et cetera. And then for the detailed data, let's see if I can open this. There'll be files for various different things. So diagnoses, procedures, problems, microbiology orders, clinical observations, et cetera. For these are fairly large, and I probably shouldn't be opening some of these things in my browser, but I'll try to give you at least a little example. Excuse me. So this includes basically structured clinical observations. It includes actual values. So if there's a BMI, it has the actual value for the BMI, heart rate, blood pressure, et cetera. Some are more related to diagnosis codes and things like that, or more events. That's not what I wanted to do. Okay, so I'm not sure I'm going to be able to open one of these since I'm not actually on Chiha. Oh, there it goes. So each one of these observations is associated with the de-identified person number, the de-identified visit number, and it has actual names and descriptions of the type of observation, as well as the actual numeric value. So temperature, the units of measure, date, time stamps, etc. So this is the kind of information that will be available in each one of these CSV files. And you can see it is quite a variety of data. It is raw EHR data. It is everything that exists. It is what it is, which is the way EHR data works. It is what it is. So I think that's all I have for that.
Thanks, Matt. Yeah, he's available to answer questions.
Any questions?
Oh, okay, just some additional slides that you had.
Don't worry about that. That's just the
Okay.
kind of information that exists. That
Okay,
was an example, but we've moved
yeah.
past that.
Yep, okay, so the next topic, just talking about the planning and organization, so you know who's involved with it. We're very transparent and we follow best practices. So we have our steering committee, organizing committee, as well as mentors, judges, all of our support, people are support, and then of course you, the participants, the ones who make this happen. So I'm not going to go through this slide, but there's just a lot involved with logistics and planning. So I want to really shout out and acknowledge all the people that are helping this in this effort. So Matt and Zandos, Jake, and also Amanda Carvalho. I don't know if she's here, and Jaylai Wong. Just all these people are, and probably I've forgotten some people, and all the different technologies and ways for us to communicate. So here are some key people in our organizing committee. And I want to shout out our sponsors. So we've had some very generous sponsorship for this event, which is why we're able to have all these wonderful prizes. And also that also means that folks from these organizations are involved and acting as mentors or judges. And so we're really grateful for that support. Okay, so now we have about 20 minutes for questions. So feel free to unmute yourself, or you can kind of decide whose turn. Put in the chat so that we can be sure to have your question. And if there isn't time to answer your question, then you can feel free to email us, or preferably post the question on the general channel of our Slack channel. Yes, the session is being recorded and the video will be posted. Question. We actually have already posted the first session on the website, although probably some different topics came up in that session as in from this session, but they're pretty similar and cover similar topics.
So Amy, perhaps I can just speak on behalf of the some participant who have raised this question before. Is essentially what teams what is the eligibility criteria for forming teams that can be made into the finalist at 25 that can win the award? So anyone can form teams, or they have to be connected to your co-sponsors?
Jake, is that a question? Is that a rhetorical question?
I mean, I know the answer, but I wonder if you like to answer it.
No, I would defer to you on that.
Okay. Okay. Well, I think that if you're thinking about forming team, because we advertise this opportunity broadly from many channels, and I would like to clarify that you can actually join this and as a practice, and a non-contestant for the prize. Any team is eligible. That's the first thing. But if you want to win the prizes and become one of the 25 finalists officially to be judged, then at least one member of your team or one mentor from your team has to be connected in the affiliating entities. That means we have sponsors and they're coming from UAB, they're coming from UAB-led CCTS network. So if at least one of the member is in those organizations, then your whole team will become eligible. But even if you're not affiliated, none of the team members are affiliated. So there's a one way to get connected. There's an organization that's also co-sponsor called MC Bios. It's a Mid-South Computational Biology and Bioinformatics Society. You can actually pay to become a member. We'll provide a link there. And they essentially becoming a member of that society, you can also be eligible. In fact, MC Bios is also putting up a special award that only teams with members are actually eligible for that special award. But in general, if you are interested, and then there's always a way that you can become eligible. But be aware of those criteria before you officially compete.
Well, thanks for that, Jake. Actually, we do have some questions. Okay, there was a question about how many mentors per team. I guess it's not required. We have had before where a team was just one person, but our purpose of bringing everybody together like this is, in addition to having access to everybody's data sets and all the support, is for team science, is for you to get people of different disciplines together so that people have different perspectives and different areas of expertise, different domains. So there's no requirement that you have to have a mentor. And I should clarify, there's different kinds of mentors. There's the mentor, the official mentors that we have who agree to serve as experts teams. And then and you may have your own mentor. It could be someone in your lab, your faculty advisor, head of your lab, a colleague who's a faculty member or staff. It could be or a staff scientist. It could be any of those people. And so there's no limit. You can have a team can be made up of all faculty, all trainees, all students or fellows, or a combination of faculty and students. How do we find a mentor? So probably one, you could start with people that you know. A lot of teams sometimes come already formed, like, oh, we're all in the same class, we collaborate on a group project. Let's build on that and make a team. Others have come to the hackathon either with one person in mind or just by themselves, and they want to meet other people. So so through events like this, through the Slack channel, through our networking events, we have one of those left. You can find a team. Now, sometimes people join teams actually at the hackathon. So maybe the hackathon has already started, and some teams don't have all the people that they need, or there's some people who haven't affiliated with a team yet. So it does happen occasionally, and many hackathons, especially if they're long enough, they will designate some time for meeting people. This is such a short hackathon. I don't want to spend too much time for everybody just to network, since we had all these other events scheduled ahead of time. So you could still do that. So I would really try to do it ahead of time so that you can know who you're going to be working with. As Jake mentioned, make sure it's a good fit. Get your team, your infrastructure, your data set, your project all set so everybody's ready to go. Yeah, if you have any questions about that, let us know. Like say you need somebody to help you with machine learning, for example, or AI, and you don't have somebody, we can pair you with somebody, and we'll have people who have these different areas of expertise during the hackathon, so you'll be able to ask them questions. So it's looking for mentors to ask for advice, and there's also mentors that like you want to have sort of the senior person, like the PI, I guess, of your team. So that's a long-winded answer, but there's a lot of different mentors. If you feel like you aren't getting the support that you need, or you want help finding a mentor, let us know. Since people have filled out their, another way to find a mentor to our, go to the Airtable and look at the list of participants and all the expertise profiles, and look for someone who's got the kind of expertise that you're looking for. And you can also look for a team and see who doesn't have people yet. You can also look for other people that are similar to yourself or have a set of skills that you need or like an interest, and then ask to partner with them and join a team. If you want to, be proactive, as Jake said. You could say, I'm going to lead it. I'm going to lead a team. I'm going to recruit people. I'm going to look at all the different people available, and I want to make my dream team. Even if you're not the leader, just say, hey, just stick yourself out there and get some people together, and somebody will emerge as the leader. So, don't wait too long, because I think it gives you an advantage if you're more prepared ahead of time.
Can I add a few points? So I think I'm on the organizing committee, and that Amy chairs. The committee discussed issues every week, every Monday. And so it's on the agenda at the organizing committee to make proactive efforts of listing all the mentors in the Airtable and post it. So I think what will happen, of course, Amy, you can confirm it, is that Amy is gonna actually survey all the people in the network of sponsoring organizations, CCTS, Cancer Center, Informatic Institute, and pull together a list of people who are willing to serve as mentors, with or without idea. And we're gonna actually make the webmaster post those people's name onto the Airtable. Some of them may actually come up with idea, like myself. I already know, will tell you that I may serve as a multiple teams mentor. Some of them may not have an idea, and they may be just available simply for you to approach them. And if they like your idea, maybe they will agree to be a mentor. So we'll make that table available at some point before the end of this month. Right, Amy?
Yeah, and you can already, there's an invitation in Slack for how to get to the Airtable. Let us know if you need that. And in the list of participants, there's already lists of people's different levels of expertise. And if they're senior faculty, you can look their profile up, whether they're at UAB or another university. And just approach them, ask them if they'd like to be a mentor, find out about their research, see how much it fits with what you're doing, and maybe maybe build on their idea. There's people are always welcome. People are always welcoming other people to help build on their own research.
Yeah, let me also comment that the mentors are different. The difference between mentor and having a faculty or a senior investigator on your team. If you have someone on your team officially, they should be available for the entire 40 hours of the hackathon, maybe having having similar schedule together, work late night, being part of the member, but the mentor don't have to. The mentors are not obliged to join the team, and they can just provide some input strategically, maybe make themselves available for half an hour, 1 hour each day. And but at the same time, mentor do not share the cash prizes with the team. So it's only the participant team will be sharing the cash prizes. Mentor will probably be acknowledged, but not sharing the money together. And so hopefully you can find the distinction of the time commitment and then the monetary reward differences.
Yeah, thanks for the clarification, Jake, that if this were an in-person event, then our official mentors, or we've also referred to them as expert panelists, might be sitting in a conference room or in a table where you could sit down with them and ask them for help. Or you could ask them to come over and take a look at something that you're doing and give you some feedback. This is different from the senior investigator person on your or scientist on your team who's actually a member of your team and is just providing the oversight or just helping out in the project and maybe in a more supervisory advisory role. if they're actively involved with your team, that they would be considered a member of your team. Other questions? Don't be shy. We've got 5 minutes left. Well, if not, I can just show you the Airtable site really quickly. Some of you may have seen it, but we really want to drive people there. Okay, yes, we are going to be posting that. Let me pull up the Airtable. Okay, so if you don't have access to that, there's instructions on Slack for how to get here, and also let us know if you want to come here. If you can't find the link to join. So we have okay, so we have our participants, and then we have projects that people have posted, and teams. A couple of people have started signing up for teams, so that you can link a team to a member. And then there's some data sets. We put some things to get it started, but if you have a data set, we'd like you to post it there too. Very important list of events. This is the same thing that's showing up on our website, and it has all the links to register via Zoom. Experts. So these are some of the experts that you can call on. Probably need to update this list. It may not have everybody that we need for this list, and not everybody here. We also need to see who's going to be on the schedule for the actual hackathon. Office hours, I don't think we've set that yet. And there's a checklist. Okay, sign up sheet. Okay, these are the people who originally signed up for the hackathon. So yeah, so please go here and fill it out, and it would really be helpful for yourself for organizing, and also for help people to come help with your project. I think I see another question. Okay. All right. Well, any final comments or questions from people? Well, if not, then thank you for attending, and we look forward to seeing you in our upcoming events, especially the training sessions, boot camps, and the hackathon. And please let us know if you have any questions, and join and post on our Slack channel, and also on the Airtable. All right, thanks everybody. Have a good week.
Thank you.
Thank you.